Today we're going to be chucking a new stereo in the Patrol. For the head unit I've got this, the new Kenwood touchscreen, so that'll be interesting to set up. I see it's got a different wiring harness than everything else has previously. I've also got speaker wires. Got these factory fit location Kenwoods, the high output ones for the front doors. It's got a cheap SCA wiring kit, better than the online ones because they're a little bit longer the wires, so you know you're not going to come up short. And we've got a 4-channel amplifier here we can hook up in the back for something a little bit special in the back doors. We'll check that out later on. Alright, so this is what we've currently got installed, an older generation Kenwood here. And as you can see, it's got the UHF, which is held in by a roll of electrical tape there. And the handpiece just sort of doesn't go anywhere. These are the holes I was talking about. I assume they were for the UHF handle or something at one stage, but who knows. Anyway, to pull the dash out, or this facade anyway, got to undo these 2 Phillips head screws here, and then just get under it underneath, and it should just pop off. Now I've already undone these 2 wires, they're pretty simple undo, so undo them, and then your facade's free. Now the guys who installed this UHF and this CD player, at least they've used the right brackets here. As you can see, you can just unscrew it here and that whole section will come out. So I'll do that and then we'll see what's in behind there. Now I'm hoping they've just used a wiring harness adapter, which you can buy at Super Cheap or Autobarn or anywhere like that. It's just plug and play, and then I'll be able to buy an adapter to the new head unit from the factory one. Good as gold. So we'll rip that out and see what's there. Alright, that's those 4 screws out, so it all should come out now. And yeah, that's something. So they've definitely not spent the 20 bucks and bought the adapter, they've decided to do it themselves. That's probably why I don't have any speakers working currently, but yeah, this job's just got a whole lot bigger, so great. So I've just pulled the old electrical tape holder there, and I've realised it's actually quite a good UHF. It's got the separate face piece to the rest of it, which is mounted down inside there. Maybe we'll be able to do something with that after all. Some of this rat's nest sorted out. So we've got radio and UHF wires there. Oh, this awesome earth that's been installed right there off the bracket. This is still pretty bad, the stereo. And the UHF, which is wired into the stereo power wires. So we'll leave that for now. And I've also got this, which I assume's a phone mic or something that's mounted up here. So we'll leave that. I don't know if that's going to plug in or not. Right, so I'm going to have to cut all this out and start again, because I've just crimped it and taped it and soldered it. I don't know how many stereos have been in, but a few by the looks. This is what happens when you buy a car with 425,000 Ks on it. It's had a lot of stereos. Alright, I've taken some of the tape off and I don't think there's much we can do with it. I think it's all going to have to get cut back to the original harness and start from scratch. It's just been modified too many times. Alright, I'll cut it all off, strip the wires back, and I'll get back to you. Now I've split the wires up to where I think they are in their pairs. They seem to be twisted together. I'm assuming they're the speaker pairs. So just to be sure, I'm going to pull the door trims off and see what colour wires go into the speakers that are still in there. So to do that, you should just get a screwdriver in and pop the bottom off. Not too bad. Then you take a long screwdriver, flat blade, put in there. Just pop that up. I've already done it. Then you've got a screw here, and then the Phillips down in there that you can always see. Then you should be able to pop this out and undo the wires off there. So I'll do that now. Right, now the wires are out. One more bolt here. Then you got to take this corner panel out. These little things are a pain. I found the easiest way is to get the Black Panthers down either side and just pry it off. Tempting to snip it, but I do need it again. And then yeah, once it's started it comes out easy, and you can just pull that off, and then the door trim should come off with a bit of a wiggle. Well, that comes off too. That's off. Alright, so it's just those 4 Phillips. Now they're out. We can see it is black with a red stripe and solid brown. So that matches one of the pairs of wires I've got up there, so that's a good sign. I'll do the same thing to the passenger side just to determine which ones are the front speaker wires, because they're the ones I really need. Alright, here's these Kenwood speakers. Fairly nice looking speakers. It's a bit of a shame to cover them up, but yeah, they'll be going inside the door cards. They look like a really good condition build, but we'll chuck them in and we'll see how they sound. The old and the new side by side. Good to see that they use Clarion, pretty good brand, and they're max of 40 watts. So the peak power on these Kenwoods are 230 watts with RMS of 100 watts, so heaps more powerful. Unfortunately, different wiring, different plugs, so I'm gonna have to cut them and wire them in. So we'll do that now. Right, so I've been scouring the forums trying to find out which wires go where after cutting all this apart. So I figured the best way, I'm gonna hook power up to the head unit, run to a speaker, just twist everything up for now, not solder anything, so we don't know where anything goes. So I needed a test light. I do have one somewhere. I couldn't find it. I couldn't be bothered finding it. So what I've done is I've just hooked up this LED strip light here. A few alligator clips. One going in there to the earth off the negative of the LEDs. And then just another length of wire here. Just happens to have an alligator clip on it. So we just tested on the wires here. See if we've got any power. None on that one. That's lighting up, so that'll be our battery wire. And then this one here, it's not lighting up, but I know it does when the ignition on, so that's our switch wire. So now that we've got that sorted, I can wire in the harness. So I've just twisted them up and chucked the head unit on, and it lit up. So I don't have any speakers connected, so I couldn't test any of that. But that means the wiring's right. So I've given them a twist up. Or while they're already twisted up, I should say, I've given them a quick solder, and now just putting the shrink wrap on, because they can stay. They're right, we know they're good, it'll just be the speakers to figure out next. Righto, I've just plugged this in and got it paired up to my phone. I've twisted the driver's side front speaker up, so I'm just going to go down now to here and see if we can get the speaker wires around the right way. I think I do with the stripes, but you know, it's a bit hard to tell, so we'll just give it a test before we solder anything up. As you can hear, the patrol's going to keep beeping just because it's a bit crap like that. Like I know my keys are in there, right? So we'll have a look at that and we'll see if we can get a speaker working. I was having a pretty hard time trying to get that speaker to work. It took me a long time to figure out what was wrong. A little bit embarrassing, but didn't put the other plug into the back of the receiver, so make sure you plug the speakers in before you try and get them to work. It'll definitely help. Alright, I figured out where all the speakers go now, so this is what I do. I slip the shrink wrap on, strip the wires back, twist them up, as you can see here, and then I just snip the ends of them off. It's better to do them a bit long. Put all this shit through your car. I'm going to solder all these up and then put the shrink wrap on them before I go any further. Alright, as you can see, that's the front speakers in. The screws do sit up on one of the lips, which isn't a big deal. They'll still hold in there well. So yeah, now we move on to the head unit. Got to get it sitting in here correctly. I've got to do a few more wires running to the back of the car. I'll chuck these door cards on to keep those speakers protected and we'll get onto that.